Hello, friends. I'm just, give me a second here to make sure that this is open to everyone. Because you know damn well I don't remember where I found the setting the last time we were chatting together. Can anybody talk? I just want to make sure everybody's allowed to comment. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, well, okay, I'm going to be live for minimum 20 minutes, but could be up to an hour, okay? Depending on when my man comes back in the house, because he's outside hanging out with the neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because, and why do I get off when he comes in the house? Well, if you've been around me and my channel long enough, you know it's because my dog goes crazy when daddy's home. So it's nothing but loud and chaos. But I like doing my work from my living room, my couch. So that's why. And, well, it's dinner time, so I think we're ordering out tonight. Because I forgot to take stuff out of the freezer. So. Watch me go live and he comes right back in this house. No, we're not manifesting that. I will just shit myself if he does. Well, anyways, let's just get talking while we can. Hi, Kim. If you and your SP don't click, should you even bother to manifest them? Excellent question. If you're asking me personally, like would I? If I've already decided, so I've made the mental decision, so I'm acknowledging that there is a belief there that I don't think we click. If you would ask me that question in the early days of my journey, I would have said, yes, absolutely. Being the amount of years that I've been manifesting, I would say no. But that's more because I'm too lazy. I'm not fixing. I'm deciding. So anything that, yeah, because I know me and I would just keep focusing on the stuff that bugged me about that person. But do I believe that you can change? So let's say for a second that the things that you feel like you guys don't click about, are they changeable? Yes. Is there a version of your person that you guys do click? Yes. So I personally would never, ever, and if you've been around me at all for some time, you probably already know what I'm about to say, but you will never hear me tell anybody to give up on a manifestation. Ever. Because I believe what I say. I believe we are limitless, flawless beings. I believe in the infinite possibilities. And I believe, by saying infinite possibilities, I mean everything is possible. And there are infinite versions of everyone. So certainly don't take my answer as, I don't think you should, because that's not how I feel. Hey! It's my doorbell. I'll be right back. Hey! Calm down! You're scaring him! You're scaring him! Hey! You scared him. That was not very nice, ma'am. That was not nice. Jesus. Nothing like instantly manifesting that there would be some kind of interruption. And I just ran for you guys. I just ran. And I'm out of breath. Somebody tried to deliver food here. Now, mind you, you heard me say that we are probably going to order out. This poor young kid, he had the sweetest face, attempted to deliver food to my house that we did not order. How about that for instant reflection and reality? And you all experienced it with me live. We had the interruption. We had the chaos with my dog, the chaos, the loud, and we had food delivery. We need to write this down. I'm being a little sarcastic, but come on, look at that. If you ever doubt manifestation, hang around with me for a little while. Oh my God, Hope. I'm sorry. Oh my God, Hope. I'm sorry. I am sorry. It won't be like this. All right. I want to manifest my dream job, but I don't know what my dream job is. What should I do? All right. So you don't know what your dream job is. You have no idea. There's nothing that comes to your mind when you think about career choices. Nothing. Can you think about how you would like to spend your life? Because first of all, yes, it is possible by simply focusing on the version of yourself that has the belief that they love their career, love their, whatever words you want to use, your dream job. And then what will happen, and I actually want you to do this, so you can come back and tell us that it worked. You will start receiving inspiration. Now, by inspiration, I mean a TV show will come on, a YouTube video, a TikTok video will come on with someone doing something that interests you, that you wish that you could do. So you'll start getting, there's a better word for inspiration though. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. There is another word where you will experience, and it's not experience, it's not experiences. I can't think of a word. And it's not download either. But like, whatever my missing word is, and downloads will start appearing in your reality. So you will get inspiration. But it's not, I'm not looking for that word either. It'll come to me. But yes, listen. Anything is possible, even when you are unsure of what exactly it is you want. Now, don't get me wrong. If you go and read like any book on manifestation, somewhere in there, it probably says to be clear. Get clear on what you want to experience, okay? And I'm not arguing that point. I'm not trying to say that anybody who says it is wrong, because I don't think they're wrong. But just from my own experience, I can tell you that I didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. I didn't know. Like I would start, and this is why college, I kept changing my major, because I would just pick a job that I logically, literally, in 3D reality, believed would make good money. So I would follow that career path. And I hopped all over the place. Wasted time, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Because I felt pressure to just pick something. And it took me years. Now, bear in mind, I didn't know about manifestation until, my 30s. So had I known that, I would have put the focus on the version of myself who was living her dream life, doing her dream career. But even with me not being aware of that and not knowing what I wanted to do, it absolutely led me here naturally. Through inspired action that, listen, I would say 99% of the time, no one knows they're in the midst of doing inspired action until we look in hindsight. That's when we have that clear 2020 vision to see how things connected. But if you were to look back through all of my life, you will see that I was always being led to what I'm doing now, which as soon as I discovered YouTube, I knew I wanted to be a part of it. But when YouTube first started, I didn't have the guts to do it, truthfully. But long story short, it led me there anyway. And I wasn't clear. I wasn't clear until YouTube popped up in my reality. Does that make sense? I hope. What would you do if you had to see your SP acting unfavorable every day? Ignore them? That is such a good question, and it is something I talk about quite often because it's a limited perspective, but I own it. And what I mean is the limited belief that it can feel more difficult manifesting your specific person when you have to see them every freaking day. Now, does it have to be that way for everyone? No. But through my own experiences, I could see the differences between when we didn't and when we did. I mean, seeing each other every day. And when you are having to interact with them every day and they're not quite the version of themselves that you're preferring, it can be triggering, depending on where you are in your journey. But this is not a bad thing, first of all. As long as you, at the end of the day, are putting your awareness on exactly who you want to be, and these are my words, so I'm not trying to make you think these words, but in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. I always say that. It's my way of describing a relationship. If you know that you're putting your awareness on that and coupling that with the awareness of knowing that your specific person is the version you prefer, is reflecting back to you love, respect, and any other word that makes you feel good. If you know that where that is, that's really the only thing that matters. Because I am someone that strongly believes, thank you for the gifts, by the way, thank you. I know a bunch of you were sending things. Thank you. I know personally from living this experience and manifesting my own person that emotionally reacting to your 3D is not going to stop a manifestation. It's not going to ruin things, only if you believe it is. Only if you personally believe it. And I know there might be differing opinions on that, and that's okay, because it doesn't make the other person wrong. It just means that's what they experience in their own reality. I meant what I said. I prefer to think of things as being limitless and flawless, because we really are. Hence, if you notice that if I'm aware of a limited belief that I might be resonating with, I say it. I just own it and say it out loud instead of trying to hide behind it and pretend I don't have it, or that I'm not aware of it, or that's where my awareness eyeballs are focusing on, right? What matters is that you are aware. So in other words, okay, so you have to see your person every day. And perhaps it's upsetting you. That's why you're even entertaining the idea of, well, maybe I should just ignore them. We don't have to ignore shit. Now, ignore means different things to different people. Ignore used to make me feel like I have to have blinders on. I can't interact with my person in reality. Because if I emotionally react, if I do something, or if I keep focusing on what I don't like, I'm just going to keep manifesting more of it. So what did that do? That only kept me in a state of constant fear. So I was in an endless cycle of battling that. So I had to come to the understanding, which I'm trying to do for you, so you can skip the years that I had to learn all this, that you can be aware. You can be aware. All right? And you can speak authentically. So in other words, let's say your SP isn't being too friendly. Maybe today they were just being a little too sarcastic and you didn't like it. The only thing that matters in that equation, and it's not how you handle it with your SP. Granted, I'm not trying to tell anybody to go out and be an ass to anyone. Right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying as long as you are in the awareness that, number one, okay, why did it bother me? Why is this upsetting me? So being aware of your own internal response to it. And if you kind of remove yourself, and I know that sounds crazy. Neurodivergent people are probably understanding me a little bit better when I say this. It's kind of like you're separating in your mind. You've got the part of you that's still doing the 3D interacting with the person. And then you kind of split off. So you can be aware, it feels like, in two different places. As long as you're aware of what's happening in that moment. Like, okay, I can feel myself internally reacting to my specific person. I don't like that he's being, sarcastic to me today and shitty to me. It makes me feel a certain type of way. All right, boom. It's making me feel a certain type of way. What does that mean? How does it make me feel? What meaning am I giving it? If you just have the awareness of catching yourself like that, that's really, again, I'm telling you because I've lived it. That's really all that matters, is you're staying aware of where your mind is going. Because when SPs are showing up reflecting not exactly what we want, our perception of it is telling us what state we're embodying in the moment, so that we can make a new decision, whether that is to keep moving along in that state of consciousness or having the conscious thought, the willing conscious thought to go back to your wish fulfilled. How you interact in 3D, meaning if you say something like, man, you're acting like a dick today, or you say nothing, those responses on the outside really don't mean anything at the end of the day. And it's also why I say I'm not telling you to go out and be a turd to people in your reality. I'm just saying we are meant to have human interaction, human experiences, good and bad. Because truthfully, everything is really neutral. There is no meaning until you, in identity, apply the meaning. So whether you ignore SP or say something back, the point that matters is that you are aware that you're being triggered, you're feeling upset, and why that is. And it's because a belief is resonating. So let's say, going back to the example of maybe they were being sarcastic and we didn't like it. Chances are, and God, I am just kind of summarizing here, but chances are it made you feel a certain type of way that if we kept, whittling it down, it would probably be the not good enough belief, more than likely, because that is just quite a popular one that I swear I think everyone has. But that's also just a belief. But I hope that makes sense. And I'm sorry, there were 90,000 interruptions in the beginning of this live stream, just saying. You are giving the 6 Spice Girl Fear Spice. Why do I immediately love you? Shirley Ann, I immediately love you. And it is not just a coincidence that you said that phrase, because even though I would have told you that, in my early years, I was a punk rock girl, right? I was the Ramones, the Damned, the Sex Pistols, and then I ventured on to Tool and things like that. But I secretly loved the Spice Girls, and I would have done anything to be one, truthfully. So you just made my whole day. Thank you very much. Hey, Carrie. Because I love a Taurus woman. Are you a Taurus woman too? I'm on a cusp. I'm a Taurus Gemini cusp. So I got a little bit of spice from both. Having fun with astrology. I don't believe that it's deciding our future. Only we do that. Just saying. Melissa, you think you're in the wish-fulfilled state? Are you feeling like the knowing, where you comfortably know that you're going to get your desire? You're in Aries. All right. Okay, you guys. That fierce word should be placed on you. Aries are fierce, in my opinion. Aries women. Well, I guess Aries men too. Aries in general, right? Fierce. You don't take no shite. Can I recreate an SP? Absolutely. And in a weird kind of way, you are doing it from moment to moment based on you and who you believe you are from moment to moment. Because remember, you are connected to every single version of yourself right now, always in the now moment. You are connected to all, to the infinite, all versions of you. So therefore, all versions of them. So if they're currently a version you're not loving, well, then we move the awareness. We move our internal eyeballs to the version of ourselves we want to be, which I'm assuming would be the version of you who's experiencing your heart's desires with the most loving version of your person. Right? All right. Hold on one moment. I will be right back. I don't know how you're going to be, so. Okay. Let's see. But it seems impossible. Why? No, it seems impossible from the current state of consciousness you are embodying. It's not impossible. And guess what? You don't even have to believe 100% that it's possible for it to work. I have my opinions on belief, but let me comfortably tell you that when I first started, I didn't have belief. I would say I had like 5% belief, but my belief was in that manifestation. So 5% belief that manifestation worked. Probably 0% or negative percent that it was going to work on my love category. But guess what? I was wrong. And it worked. So, and my point in saying that to you is, I had what I would call a journey. That journey was me, the evolving of me, which then brought in versions of SP. So when you think about bringing in a different version, remember, it's always the reflection of you and what you believe. So that's why you'll hear me more talk about putting the focus back on you and who you are. You want to be, a man or woman in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. Well, who are you as that version? Who are you? What are you experiencing? Now, your logical mind might give you all the reasons why you don't know, and you don't know how to answer that question. Yes, you do. You want this desire for a reason. If you're having the desire, well, then that desire is a match to you. Meaning, what you desire desires you. You're meant to experience it. Not for you to hope and wish and then never get to have the experience. The only part that I think this is my opinion. What I think people struggle with is timing and how. And by timing, I mean we very much judge our 3D reality. And if things don't look good, so like you're recreating an SP, if the old version of SP shows up, we immediately think this isn't working. This has not worked yet. There's still a twat. So it hasn't worked. This failed. I must be doing something wrong, right? Then we start nitpicking ourselves. What if you just living and existing and just having the experience of your own shifting, your own rising in consciousness, which is what everyone is doing, whether they're aware of it or not. Our awareness is expanding. What if all of that was a part for you to get your manifestation? Instead of seeing it as, this is the wrong reality right now in this moment. Wrong reality, because my manifestation isn't here. What if everything you're experiencing right now and what you think is the wrong reality is actually the reality you were supposed to be in all along to end up with that manifestation? What if that's the truth? we think of like states of consciousness. You'll hear me say it, the version of yourself, or return to your decision to be new self. Those are just my catchphrases. When I'm saying new self, I just mean the version of you that has the desire, but you're not really a new self, right? Because you were already all. You were already that. You were already every version of yourself. So is it really a new self? Not really. You were already that person. You just got to shine your awareness flashlight on her or him. So it can feel like it's impossible to bring in a different version, and that's only because of our attachment to the current version, an attachment to that reality, which is why we hear detachment. I say detachment is your best friend, right? The less you're relying on your current 3D evidence, the easier this gets. By easier, I don't mean you'll never have a bad day. I'm just saying the more you understand, a little bit easier it gets. And listen, changing how someone shows up, not that difficult. Keep the focus on who you want to be and what that version of yourself is experiencing. And always, please remember me saying this to you. You really already are that person. Think of it as you're just remembering. You're remembering that you were always the version experiencing the version you want of your person. You're remembering it because everything already exists. Infinite possibilities. See what I mean? We think that the lived experience we had, like our past, we think that's our one true history. And I know this sounds a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but it's not. It's just the one you remember really, really potently. Ooh, thank you very much. Who was that from? It looks like all I saw was Ange. I didn't see the full name. Thank you very much. That was very nice. So, I know it can feel impossible, but the more you become detached from the reality, think of it too as the reality that you want to not hang around in anymore with the shitty version of your person. It's like picking up an anchor and moving over to the reality where they are the way you would like them to be, treating you the way you want them to. It exists, or you wouldn't be able to even think the thought if it wasn't already a possibility. See what I mean? I love you, Carrie. Thank you. You hear him sniffing. You're getting it all today in my house. All. Always a good reminder of my power when I watch you. Oh, haven't done so in a while, but you did say this was the point of it. Oh my God, Italia. Well, that was very nice of you. Thank you. That's why I come on here, truthfully. I want to zhuzh you up. I want to zhuzh everybody up. Because I'm human. I've had quite the journey myself. So, to be honest, one of the things I always promised myself too is if in one of my desperate, miserable evenings begging the outside God, please, if you just let me have this, I promise I'll tell everybody and I'll make them feel better. Just give me this fucking manifestation. That was my very early days. I really didn't understand who I was at that time. Don't judge me. But my point in saying that is I know that when you're living and experiencing stuff you're not happy with, and you have your spirals, you have your emotional moments, I know you think, at least it's what I thought, so I'm assuming other people think like me too. I know you think that, number one, having the emotional reaction is probably prolonging this, preventing it from coming in. It's not. It's not. And I know you probably think thoughts along the line like, I just can't see this ever truly happening. When you're in the depths of a spiral, in the depths of despair, thinking something is possible, it's not there. It's not there. Blow your fucking nose. Can you hear that? Anyway, sorry. So when you feel like that, you feel hopeless. You feel sad and you feel like you're doing everything wrong, manifestation wise. And what I want to tell you is I felt like that. In the early days, my early years, I felt like that every single day. That's what it felt like to me. Every other day, I was spiraling, literally. Especially during solo vacations. I was a wreck. So I am telling you that if you keep going, keep focusing on who you want to be, the reality you prefer to be living with the manifestation, I am telling you, no matter what, everything is leading you that way. Everything is. And your spirals, your emotional moments, they didn't matter. They weren't stopping you. We're meant to have them, or we wouldn't have the ability to have them. Again, I'm not trying to say that it feels good to cry or it feels good to be sad. No, obviously, I know it feels better to be happy and to feel fulfilled with your life. Yeah, I get it. That definitely is more fun. But I'm just saying that if you're having those moments, don't beat yourself up for having them, because it doesn't matter that you're having them. Again, we wouldn't be able to do it if we weren't meant to have the experience of it. You see what I'm saying? I went from watching 24/7 because I was clinging onto answers, and one day it clicked. Now I'm living. Well done, I tell ya. Yes. Now don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I make content. Clearly, I want someone to watch my damn video, right? But at the same time, what you just said, Atalia, that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to get to a place. Now, this is not judging anybody watching content, so don't take it that way. Clearly, I make the content. I want you to watch too. But all of this is meant to get you to the place where you feel confident in your own thinking. Confident, fulfilled, happy, living your life. And not feeling like you have to, number one, do word for word what every manifestation coach says to do. No, frig that. Right? Me included. No, this is all about you finding your way and trusting yourself. So that is what's supposed to happen. You evolve past needing to watch something every single day, or even like multiple times a day. You evolve past it. And that when you do watch content, it's like to check in on that creator, because maybe you like built a relationship, you like that person's personality and stuff like that. Or you just feel like, chilling with other like-minded people, as far as, being interested in conscious manifestation. But that is what is supposed to happen. So I'm very happy to hear that for you. Very happy. Thank you, Purse Steph. That was very nice. Yes, believe in yourself and in the process. Yes. Okay. I just watch now because you're my bestie. You're my bestie. Thank you very much. You guys are so freaking good to me. Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. And thank you again to every one of you who have been sending me things and I haven't been responding to them right away. I appreciate it. Thank you, Alicia. Is that a friggin' gummy bear? Was that a gummy bear? You have no idea how much I love a good old-fashioned gummy bear. Just saying. Thank you very much. I said, well, one, I don't know if I'm reading your name right. Something G Imperial. One a la G Imperial. Thank you very much. I saw all the stuff you just sent me. That was very nice. Thank you, Alicia. Man, you guys are very nice. I know I created this ugly version of my SP, but I'm so mad at him. But I know calling out would react. Well, let me just say this. When you say calling out, you are not meant to be a manifestation robot. Please know that. This is why I talk about having emotional reactions isn't ruining anything. I can't talk. I'm all tongue-tied. It's really not. You're meant to speak authentically, being your authentic self. And by self, whatever version you're highlighting. But if someone is not being very nice to you and they're not treating you kindly, there is nothing wrong with calling them out. Now, I'm not trying to incite people to be fighting all over the place in reality. I'm not saying that. But we should never feel like, oh, I better not say anything. I better just zip my lip because I don't want to start an argument. Or the worst, I'm afraid they'll leave. I'm afraid that they won't like me anymore. No. We are not meant to live in fear. We are meant to know who the hell we are. And we can feel safe and secure in knowing that we are always, at the end of the day, going to have our desires. Because that's the truth. Okay? What if the process has taken 5 years already? First of all, no one can tell you how soon or whatnot on, how quickly a manifestation will come in. No one can say that. However, if that time is bothering you and your focus is being pulled to that, then I would surrender that version of yourself. I would surrender it, meaning like, I don't know what else to do. Okay? I don't know what else to do. I'm tired of being on this waiting journey. I surrender this version of myself. I surrender it. And I'm going to put the focus on the version of myself who is, whatever it is you're manifesting, who is living that life. And I'm going to focus on what it is to be that person. What I think my day-to-day life would look like if I had all those things. And I'm surrendering linear time. And I have a feeling that there's a part of you who probably, is always looking for something like, what am I doing wrong? Why hasn't this shown up yet? Blah, 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 blah. No. We're not doing that anymore. You've done enough. You have done enough, but you need to know that. You need to know you've done enough. That there's nothing left to do but focus on the version of yourself that has it. That's it. And if that feels too resistive because of, the counting how much time has gone by, then put it to the side. Take a break from it and live your life. And I know that's not always easy, especially when we really, really want something. But we've done enough. If you've been manifesting for that long, so 5 years, and that's upsetting to you, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know everybody wants their manifestation yesterday, so I get it. Then after we decide that there's nothing left for us to do, and we know that our focus and attention is or has already been on being in that reality, put it aside. Take a break from it. Because answers will come. Things will present themselves in reality to show you either, like, for example, oh, maybe you were focusing on having the desire, but you were still resonating with this story or that belief. It will present itself, right? So the more we surrender it, things will come up to point you in the right direction, is what I'm trying to say, on where to bring your focus. Because sometimes we don't even realize whether we're resonating with a story, even though it's right in front of our face. Because, we're so caught up in the judgment of why it's not here yet. But I will tell you this, you haven't been manifesting that for that long and nothing happening in reality. You might not have recognized or understood the things you were experiencing were a part of you getting that desire the entire time. But it's not because, your subconscious mind, the universe, God, whatever you personally believe in, has shut the door on you and said, no, you can't have that manifestation. That's not happening. That's not what it is. In this time that's gone by, perhaps from where you started, let's say, all right, I'm just going to do a blanket example. Let's say what you wanted was to be a multimillionaire, and that's what you're manifesting, and it's been 5 years and you're still not a multimillionaire. Maybe from where you started, your belief in that possibility of becoming a multimillionaire was nowhere to be found. However, like I said earlier, you don't have to believe in order to manifest. But if we have other conflicting beliefs, so we're not aware that we're identifying with them, we will be moved. Meaning, like I said, experiences, circumstances will present themselves to stretch you. This is why we say you're in expansion, right? Expanding your awareness. You're being stretched. Your mental muscles are being worked so that you become the version of yourself that can have the multi-millions and maintain them. I hope that makes sense. Let me give you another example. So my SP journey has been several years before I got the relationship I'm in now with the version of my person that I'm in with now. If this version of the relationship, which was always my heart's desire, it was always the outcome I wanted, but if it had shown up, let's say 10 years ago, that version of me would have never been able to keep that relationship. I would have been doubting. I would have been in fear consistently. We're humans, so we're going to have the occasional doubts. That is completely normal. But I'm saying a 10-year ago version of me, we wouldn't have lasted a week. Because my beliefs were so in the toilet, I couldn't have maintained it. So my journey was moving and stretching and expanding my awareness until I was holding dominantly and keeping my awareness on the state that I am now. Because you got to think, in the beginning of my journey, I didn't trust or believe at all in the being source and the understanding what that means. I didn't have it. That didn't mean I was a bad manifester. It meant that's not where my understanding was. But the journey led me through, let's say, like the levels of awareness and consciousness. So nothing is by coincidence. And I'm telling you, I mean this for everyone. I don't care how long you've been manifesting. If it's not in front of you in this moment, it's not because you can't have it. It's not because that is never an answer. And I know that some people get to a place where they're tired of manifesting whatever it is they're manifesting, and then they accept that belief. Well, maybe it's not meant for me. Maybe it's just not meant for me. No, that's the state of consciousness that you continue to dwell in. So that's what is reflecting back to you in the reality mirror. But it's not because it's not meant for you. You never would have had the desire to begin with. And that's usually when the logical mind starts spewing, well, if everybody just decided they're a multimillionaire, then everybody would be a multimillionaire. That cannot happen, right? That can't happen. Why can't it happen? Why? We are multidimensional beings. Why can't it happen? You believe it can't happen because you're listening to your own conditioning. You're listening to an old program. And you believe it inherently. So reality around you keeps reflecting those beliefs. But it's not because it's fact. Right? Listen, I could keep going on and on about this. Why do you think scientists say that testing consciousness is impossible? It's consciousness testing consciousness. And each person trying to test consciousness is going to experience a different reflection, a different answer. So there will be, let's say 1,000 scientists are trying to test consciousness, and they have an outcome they expect, right? For an answer, I expect all the rules about consciousness to be this. And let's say all 1,000 scientists have different things they think is going to show up. Every single one of them would experience what they believed their outcome was, even if it conflicted with the scientists sitting next to them on this side, it wouldn't matter, because that's the beauty of the reality mirror. Everything is possible. Anyway, all right, my friends, let me just apologize again for the annoying interruptions, the dog barking, and on and on. I will try to go live again. I'm hoping tomorrow afternoon. Not sure what time yet, but I'm hoping again. I've got the re-zhuzh again of going live, and I'm enjoying going live over here. It's so easy. So, yes, it is, Yvonne. Thank you so much. I love that you know that. Thank you very much. Yes, May 19th. Yep. All right, friends. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here with me today. And I shall see you probably tomorrow. And yes, I'm going to save this. And yes, I'll be uploading it to YouTube in the near future. Let's make sure I end it correctly.